Sometimes, with the way things are in entertainment, it's good to reflect back on good things that we have enjoyed. I've been enjoying reminiscing pro wrestling. About a week ago, I put out a top 10 tag team list. I got a lot of feedback, and I'm truly grateful for the people who took the time to watch my video. I did get some good comments about some groups that were more of, I would say, stables or factions. So I decided I would put together a top 10 factions or stables list of pro wrestling. So here we go. Number 10, the Dangerous Alliance. Years before he was Paul Heyman, Paul E. Dangerously assembled an all-star cast of heels in WCW to topple Sting and the other babyfaces in the Federation. The group's members included Ravishing Rick Rude, Larry Zbyszko, Arn Anderson, Bobby Eaton, and some guy called Stunning Steve Austin. We all know where he ended up. Number 9, the Heenan Family. For many years during the WWF's 1980s boom, Bobby the Brain Heenan terrorized the company's top heroes with the Heenan Family, a faction that included Andre the Giant, Hercules, Harley Race, Big John Studd, King Kong Bundy, Rick Rude, Paul Orndorff, and the Brain Busters and King Haku. Number 8, Evolution. When discussing top factions in WWE history, many will mention groups like DX or SHIELD. Both were and are tremendous factions, but for me the best of the lot was Evolution. Evolution had such a unique concept that really worked well. A group that consisted of a legend in Ric Flair, a top superstar such as Triple H, and two young and up-and-coming stars such as Randy Orton and Batista. The team won every major title in the WWE at one point in time. Number 7, the Fabulous Freebirds. This three-man group of Terry Gordy, Buddy Roberts, and Michael Hayes was the hottest faction in the 1980s. They came out to rock and roll music, flashy outfits, and had one of the most successful feuds in the history of the business against the Von Erich family. The boys from Bad Street put world-class championship wrestling on the map, and their style is still copied to this day. They are the innovators of the Freebird rule, where any two members of the faction could defend the tag team titles in any match. Number 6, the Von Erichs. The Von Erichs were one of the hottest acts in the 1980s. They dominated world-class championship wrestling in much of the South between 1981 and 1986. Their feud with the Fabulous Freebirds was one of the longest, hottest feuds wrestling had ever seen. Despite all the family issues outside the squared circle, the Von Erich family is truly one of the greatest wrestling stables of all time. Not to mention, I actually had the privilege of meeting Kerry Von Erich when I was traveling home from Operation Desert Storm. I was in uniform, and he offered to buy me a beer, but I had to make a flight. He told me that we, the soldiers, were actually the real heroes in this world, and that was something I would never forget. Also, check out the Iron Claw bio of the Von Erichs coming out soon. Number 5, the Dudley Family. When I look back on the stable, this gimmick was really ridiculous. However, the stable was much more successful than the average wrestling fan may want to believe. This stable created one of the most successful tag teams in ECW and WWE history, with Bubba Ray and Devon Dudley. They went on to win the ECW Tag Team Championship 8 times between 97 and 99. Even little Spike Dudley, teaming with Balls Mahoney, was able to win a Tag Team Championship twice. This may have been an idiotic stable, but the creation of the Dudley Boys is enough for them to make my list. Number 4, D-Generation X, or better known as DX. This group originated in the midst of the WWE WWF's Attitude Era from 97 to 2000 and helped change the sport of entertainment forever. Their gimmick was that of a group of rebels that did and said anything that they wanted to do no matter what, no matter how provocative. DX is generally considered one of the most popular stables in pro wrestling history. Number 3, the Hart Foundation. I know we trace them back to the 1980s with Bret Hart and Jim the Anvil Neidhart. I am thinking of the Attitude Era, the antagonistic version of the pro-Canada, anti-United States version. Love to hate them back then, love or hate them. For me, what made them click was everyone had a role. Bret Hart was the leader and the most gifted of the wrestling family. The Anvil and Bulldog were the muscle of the group, and Owen Hart was the most charismatic and could antagonize anyone at almost any time. Number 2, the New World Order. This faction single-handedly changed the course of professional wrestling in the 1990s. The formation of this group would solidify the WCW and kick off the Monday Night Wrestling war between the WCW and the WWF at the time. There was such realism to the NWO that wasn't there before, and suddenly it was cool to be a heel and very profitable in an era of guaranteed contracts and creative control of characters. The NWO did get watered down eventually, but the initial inception of this group was tremendous for many years. Not to mention, who will ever forget when Hulk Hogan turned heel and joined the NWO with the Outsiders, Hall and Nash. It was so shocking, but really cool at the time. Number 1, the Four Horsemen. The ones who pretty much started it all, in my opinion. Without them, you don't have groups such as the NWO or DX, or anyone else for that matter as far as stables or groups go. And that's just my opinion. Ric Flair, Tully Blanchard, Arn and Ole Anderson, and J.J. Dillon as the manager, you either loved or you hated them. But you couldn't turn away, especially from their parking lot beatdowns of Lex Luger or the Rock and Roll Express, or when they broke Dusty Rhodes' leg, or when they took out Sting. This group did whatever they had to do to win at all costs to keep most of the championships, and they would do whatever they had to do to keep the world title on Ric Flair. They had a lasting impression for years to come, which continues to this day when you see guys that come out in uniformity and suits and sunglasses. You always think of the Four Horsemen. In closing, I know I might have left someone off the list. Let me know what you think, or let me know if I left a faction off that you think should be on this list. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, share, and subscribe, and leave me a comment on your way out, as I do really enjoy reading them. Until next time, bye for now.